The school was built in 1954. It was a parish high school, not a diocese. It was a product of St. Joseph Parish. There were at the same time two other parish high schools in Utah. There was one at Notre Dame Parish in Price and one at St. Francis Parish in Provo. They were, like St. Joseph Catholic High School, small high schools for a couple of hundred students connected with an elementary system and meant to be a very small Catholic parish educational system. When the school was founded, it was staffed primarily by the Jesuit fathers who were located at St. Mary's Parish, and Sisters of the Holy Cross, who were also teaching at Judge Memorial and Cathedral School and a couple of the Salt Lake schools and running Holy Cross Hospital. They were quite a sizable congregation here in Utah in the 1950s and 60s. So they taught here and founded the school. The St. Joseph statue that you see outside the chapel is the original 1954 statue that came with the school. For many years it sat in the niche here at the intersection of the hallways before the much larger statue of St. Joseph was procured for the school and put there.
But the building of St. Joseph's Catholic High School was not without difficulty.
So, 1954, the school was founded. There were some issues with the founding of the school. During the construction, as I remember reading the archive material, they had some of the walls up for the building but not the roof, and then there was this terrific windstorm, like we sometimes get here in Ogden, that actually blew some of the walls down. And they had to reset them up again, and that delayed the dedication of the school for a while.
There was about to be a major change in the educators at St. Joseph High School.
Founded in 54, various parishioners came up from St. Joseph School to here, and that continued on until about 1978, where one of the important changes at the school happened. Vocations between, say, 1965 on, vocations declined, but a number of people in religious orders left their orders and went into the secular world and began serving as Catholics in the secular world rather than in a religious congregation. And the upshot of this was that the Holy Cross Sisters did not have enough sisters in their congregation to staff all the things they did in Utah, the Salt Lake schools, Holy Cross Hospital, St. Joseph, and so they pulled out of St. Joseph School. And at that point the diocese was intending to close the school because we'd lost half of our staff and they didn't feel there was any way this could be made to be viable. The community stepped up, and so the school was given the necessary funding to shift to a 50% lay teacher staffing, and the Jesuit fathers continued their service here from 1978. And so the school continued on that system for the late 70s, the early part of the 1980s. By the time I got here in 1988, there was only one Jesuit father here, and that would have been Father Ray Devlin. The principal just prior to my coming was Father Vincent Lopez, who was a Dominican, who had come in to administer the school for several years.
St. Joe's High School continued adding sports as they became more popular, such as cross country in the early 1990s, boys and girls soccer in 1992. St. Joe's has always offered basketball as a sport. Even Carolyn Wold remembers a team. St. Joseph continued expanding in academic programs by adding AP classes such as AP English in the mid-1980s, then expanding to AP History. An AP Calculus class was added around 1992. St. Joseph's did not just add academic programs, but additions to buildings too.
Oh, so many changes happened here. The library had just been built in 1985. It was reasonably new when I first got here. Sometime in the mid-1990s, we put the addition on the front of the gym. Of course, the next big production, the next big building piece was the big expansion on the north end of the campus in 2000 to 2003 with the Fine Arts building, the additional classrooms, art studio, computer room, the soccer field, the parking lot. All of that used to be an amphitheater where they currently have part of the Fine Arts building, parking where most of the Fine Arts building was, and the current student parking lot, and was kind of this weed-filled sand pit that kind of was used for volleyball, but really not much. And then there was a fence that divided us where the soccer field currently is, and all that soccer field was just natural scrub mountainside. So we made use of, turned that into the soccer field, and made use of that property we have, which goes all the way up to the fence. AP classes continued to join us. I think AP Science came in, I think with Mrs. Price, if I remember, in the 2000-2003. The music program came in when Mr. Tendrero arrived in 1995 or 6. And yeah, we did theater arts in the amphitheater. We did them in the basement in the cafeteria. We stopped using the gym for theatrical productions, I think, in the early 1980s when they put down the competition level flooring, and then they stopped trying to do anything in the gym other than sporting events for fear of damaging the floor. We used to hold all of our dances downstairs in the cafeteria, which was really hot. You get a bunch of kids in there dancing and having a good time, and it get really stuffy.
St. Joe's continues its tradition of a Catholic presence by having Mass from the days of Carolyn Wu till present day.
We used to hold Masses down in the cafeteria, which worked fairly well for those who wanted to participate in Mass. And then some students would misbehave and try to crawl off into corners and pretend they weren't at Mass. We had to rouse them out. That was kind of fun.
The current principal, Norm Allred, does a great job of summing up the history of St. Joseph's Schools.
Always a good educational program, always an emphasis on prayer and sacrament in our faith life, and always an emphasis on the development of our students' minds through challenging programs and teachers who really knew how to question and ask a student to do well and think.
And St. Joseph's Schools will continue to educate students and build an environment that is great to learn in.